Welcome to the Habits of Health Power half hour, where we go through Dr. A's Habits of Health one section at a time so that you can create a powerful knowledge base that will equip you for your journey into optimal health and lifelong well being. My name is Cassondra Reagan, and I am an independent Optavia coach. So, last week we began section 2.3 entitled The Catalyst to Reaching a Healthy Weight, Healthy Fuelings. And we discussed the power of fuelings as a part of a comprehensive approach to healthy eating. We defined just what a fueling is. We examined why minimally processed prepackaged fuelings are a brilliant alternative to the ultra processed food industry solution to convenience. Remember, prepackaged fuelings can be considered healthy fast food for the 21st century. And finally, we established that fuelings alone, they're not the answer to long-term health and vitality, but rather fuelings used in conjunction with lifestyle change and proper support are incredibly effective in sustaining long-term health. Today, let's jump right back into our discussion of fuelings by examining how we can use them as a part of a comprehensive approach. So, do you remember in the last section when I said that eating a healthy meal every 3 hours helps push your body into a fat burning state? Well, if you can eat every 3 hours, you will find using fuelings very simple. In fact, they make eating every 3 hours thoughtless. Now, again, you can absolutely read about the healthy, complete eating system that Dr. A maps out in section 2.6 later on. However, most people find themselves overweight because they are too busy and too much on the go to eat healthy, balanced meals. So, if you want to get started on your weight loss journey ASAP, you have a plan you can begin almost immediately while getting results right out of the gate by using fuelings. So, again, referring back to what we learned last section about the two core principles of weight management, which are number one, in controlling your energy intake through portion control, and number two, turning off our insulin pump by the quality of food we consume. So, AKA low glycemic carbs paired with healthy fats and lean proteins. So, let's look at what happens to our insulin pump when we incorporate fuelings into a nutrition plan. So, you'll note from the graph above that a steady dose of low glycemic fuelings actually helps you stabilize your blood sugar and keep your insulin level in control. So see that on the far right, it says insulin. That's where our insulin usually spikes when we eat high glycemic carbs. Blood glucose is an elevated area of glucose when we eat higher glycemic carbs. But look where that baseline insulin is, and look at the baseline glucose and see where our insulin and glucose levels stay when we eat low glycemic, portion controlled meals every 3 hours. With the fuelings, you'll fuel your body throughout the day. Remember, every 3 hours, supplemented by a healthy meal in the evening or just, whenever it fits your schedule. So as you lower your total energy intake, which is calories, right, and enter a mild fat burning state, one of our core principles, you'll start losing weight almost immediately. So your weight loss results, they may be a little slower if you have hypothyroidism, polycystic ovary disease, or you may be on medications such as a hormone replacement therapy. But consult with your healthcare provider if you have any of those. But the reality is this still works for those people too. So the calorie state you'll enter during your weight loss phase may be lower when compared to what you're eating now, but within 3 days, what are you going to do? You're going to turn on your fat stores as your energy source. No longer will it be the high glycemic carbs. And soon you're going to feel amazing. You're going to have tons of energy and you won't be tired or hungry. So before you start your journey, you have to make sure you check in with your healthcare provider. And as the granddaughter, daughter, niece, and sister to a family full of physicians, I can tell you that when you do so, your physician is going to be over the moon excited that you've decided to lose weight. My grandfather once told me that 90% of the diseases and medical pathology that he treated was caused by obesity and a sedentary lifestyle. And a special note about diabetics. Type 2 diabetics are one of my favorite types of clients because we see their blood sugar numbers normalize rather quickly, almost immediately. But checking in with their healthcare provider before they change their diet is super important because As they switch to a low calorie, low glycemic way of eating, their blood sugar will lower immediately and their level of medication, it may need to be reduced. So that's great news, of course. We want that. And that's good news because that means their body is responding and moving toward health and their disease progression is being stopped. But this also means blood sugar numbers must be monitored carefully to look for drops so that medicines can be adjusted properly. Now, let's discuss what the weight loss strategy looks like using Fuelings as a part of one of the most common Optavia plans, the Optimal Weight 5-in-1 plan. Firstly, we need to establish that the first habit of health installation will be eating every 3 hours. You're going to do this forever. Ideally, you'll have your first fueling within 30 minutes of waking up and then choose another fueling every 3 hours after that. You'll also eat one healthy, low glycemic meal a day, and we'll actually deconstruct what that meal will look like next week. But with this one meal that we refer to as the lean and green meal, you will eat it at whatever 3 hour interval you prefer. Though most people choose to have this meal in the evening to coincide it with their family dinner. It's designed to give you the necessary fats, natural enzymes, and phytonutrients that keep you in a mild fat burning state. But we will talk more about the lean and green next time. So right now, let's look at a potential fueling schedule. So this is one example of a potential sample meal plan using 5 fuelings and 1 lean and green meal. I want you to notice that the first fueling period is 7 a.m. Breakfast, choose 1 fueling. 3 hours later, 10 a.m., a fueling, choose 1 fueling. 1 p.m., another fueling, and at 4 p.m., another fueling, all 3 hours apart. Now, what we tell people is every 2 to 3 hours, right? And it also depends on a lot of varying factors. How long is your day? Are you up at 4 and trying to stay up till 9 or 10? You need to figure out a way to extend your day so that you are fueling every 3 hours. We don't want to go over. 7 p.m. is dinner, a lean and green meal. And they have an example here, which again, we'll talk about more next week. But I want you to look at that final fueling, that 10 p.m. fueling. Now, I have some clients who panic a little bit about eating so late. The reality is, if you are up that late, you need to fuel your body. But what Dr. A says in later chapters is this last fueling of the day, you want to keep it light. You don't want to have a full-on lean and green meal at 10 p.m. as your last meal of the day if you're going straight to bed. You want a lower calorie, smaller portion, because though it doesn't matter that you eat right before bed, the amount, you don't want to have a huge load right before bed. But eating before bed, a fueling, low glycemic, low calorie is perfectly okay. One final thought before we close. Using the Optimal Health 5-in-1 system for your weight loss in phase 1 is to make your loss as simple as possible as you begin to implement all the habits you're going to need to carry forth from here on out. Okay, so eating every 3 hours, hydrating, eating small portions, and choosing healthy low glycemic options. The goal is to make nutrition as these habits become automated. So in phase 2, transition, the hope is that you are no longer having to struggle with these foundational habits because they are now a permanent part of your life. So in phase 2, we will begin to introduce a wider range of foods and begin the process of teaching you how to pair protein or a healthy fat with a low glycemic carb in order to keep your insulin pump turned off and your insulin levels low. So we'll teach you what the proper portion sizes of your food choices will look like and just how many of those you should get each day. But in the beginning, using the fuelings in the 5-in-1 system will provide the nutritional footprint, the portion control, the low glycemic ingredients, and calorie deficit you need to optimize your body, thereby creating a safe and healthy environment for fat burning while protecting precious muscle mass, which is super important. So that's it for today, my friends. Next time, we'll finish section 2.3 by deconstructing the lean and green meal. So if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends who need greater health in their lives. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you next time.